Logan takes place in 2029, totally separate thing. Logan died in Logan, not touching that. What actually happens in our film is...
Welcome back to The Spider Within. I'm here as This Kid's Opinion, and today we're going to be reviewing the Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
So what are your initial thoughts after watching this movie?
So, walking out of this movie, I thought that it was just amazing. You know, a great build-up for a better MCU, right? But we gotta talk about the intro. Oh, that intro was so clean. Bye by NSYNC. But I don't know, it was a lot of laughs, a lot of puns, gore, everything in between my little cracks. I came in with high expectations, and all those expectations met perfectly, especially with the current state of the MCU. Just this movie just did not disappoint.
Yeah, so about that intro, that I don't think they could have made a more perfect intro. At first, I was like, oh my god, they completely lied to us. They said they weren't going to touch the end of Logan, but they touched it up real good. Both hands on it. Maybe all four limbs all over that thing. That intro was filthy.
Except me. I'm going to touch them all over.
But it was perfect. It set the tone for the movie. Like, this movie is not getting Disneyfied, and I just feel that was the perfect way for the movie to go. Adamantium skeleton, use that as a weapon. Just complete genius. I really wonder who came up with that, because that is one of the most creative fight scenes I've ever seen. Definitely the most creative fight scene I've ever seen in the MCU.
And the most funny as well, because you'll just have like random breaks of just Deadpool just dancing to the music. Just, not fighting at all, just dancing.
So yeah, the intro is perfect, and this is just how the movie went. It was so fast paced. It was like Multiverse of Madness pacing wise, but this movie was just way more fun, to where I could forgive the movie for being so fast, because every scene was interesting. There wasn't one scene where I'm like, this could have been left out of the movie. Like maybe Pyro's scenes where he's talking to Paradox, but like every scene in this movie had a consequence or meant something. And the dialogue between like Wolverine and Deadpool were awesome. Just being in the car driving was very good. I really enjoyed. Let's just talk about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I think he absolutely killed it.
Oh, for sure.
Especially his roast of Deadpool in the car, totally laying it on him. Great performance there. You felt every single word from Wolverine there, and their back and forth was great. I really enjoyed this version of Wolverine. It's one we haven't seen. This is by far the most humorous Wolverine we've seen since their early X-Men movies, but Wolverine had a few one-liners, and he worked well off of others. In this movie, Wolverine, he would be the first one to like crack a joke or something, especially when he was very doubtful about Deadpool, Elektra, and their little group, their plans about taking out Cassandra Nova. He was just laughing at them, like saying that they had no chance. He was funny in this movie, but he was also by far the most serious.
And also, this is the first time we ever really got to see Logan or Wolverine being like emotional, or like being like kind of sensitive, because in all the X-Men movies, or in Logan, Stoneface doesn't really give a crap about really anything, and just doesn't really care in general. In this movie, we see just a whole different side.
Yeah, like his empathy for Johnny whenever Deadpool got him killed, and also when Deadpool wanted to kill Cassandra Nova, like Wolverine talked him out of it. Like, this is a different side of Logan we haven't seen. Very empathetic towards someone he barely knew in Johnny Storm, and then a straight up villain in Cassandra Nova. Very empathetic towards. So this was a jack of all trades Wolverine emotionally wise. But yeah, overall, how would you rate this movie out of 10?
I would say I would rate it at least an 8.5, but most a 9, because I had a lot of fun during this movie. You know, I had laughs. I had, emotional parts. It was just a great movie in general. I would see this 1,000 times over and over and over again and just wouldn't be bored.
Yeah, the rewatchability of this movie is absolutely insane. So I'm trying to think of a movie I really like for the MCU. Like, I'd say Infinity War. Like, that's obviously got to be a 10 out of 10 movie. And then what's something below that? Guardians. I mean, Guardians 3. I'd have to give that like an 8.5. So I think I'm gonna make Guardians 3 like an 8, and then I'm gonna make Deadpool Wolverine 8.5.
Okay.
Just because of the rewatchability. Like, I really like Guardians 3. I think it's a really good movie, but it's not as rewatchable as Deadpool Wolverine. Even though the story may be stronger. Actually, no, I'm gonna rate the same. I'm gonna give Guardians 3 as like an example. That's an 8.5. I'm gonna give Deadpool Wolverine 8.5 as well. The story is pretty messy at times, but it's just so much fun where I can forgive it, and I can watch this movie all day. So I think an 8.5 to maybe even 9 on like a second watch. I think on a second watch I could definitely give this movie a 9. So it could definitely go up.
If you haven't seen our tier list video, we made a tier list of cameos possible, but we're mainly going over the ones that were in the movie. First off, we got Chris Evans' Human Torch. I thought he was going to be Captain America. From what, at first glance, when you see him, you think it's Captain America. But it was Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, Human Torch. We also got Elektra. We also got Sabretooth. We got Juggernaut for a quick, I think like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we got Juggernaut, but no dialogue.
Yeah. We got Gambit and Channing Tatum's Gambit. That was pretty cool. We got Wesley Snipes' one and only Blade, according to him. We got Henry Cavill's Wolverine, which was very unexpected. We both thought that he was going to be a Deadpool.
Yeah, then we were thinking Daniel Radcliffe would be the patch variant we saw.
Yep. We also got Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. And we also got X-23, aka Laura. Oh, and we can't forget the one, the only Peter, aka Peter Pool, and Lady Deadpool as Blake Lively, not Taylor Swift.
Thankfully.
Thank God.
But yeah, let's just first, before we even get into the cameos, later in the video we're gonna do our dislikes, but I'm just gonna bring this one up first. Cameo wise, there was not enough X-Men in this movie. That let me down a little bit. I was kind of very surprised there wasn't as many X-Men, especially hero wise. They killed it with the villains, but hero wise, there was not enough X-Men in this movie. I'm shocked we did not see Professor X in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of understand, because if he is in this movie, there's a high chance he gets killed, and we just saw Scarlet Witch break his neck, and we don't need to see that again. So I understand it. Yeah, I wish there were more X-Men. Like, Cyclops needs his redemption. In The Last Stand, he was killed off screen. Like, come on, we need Cyclops in there. I was surprised Storm wasn't in this movie. But yeah, more X-Men. But let's kick it off with Human Torch, who I'm so happy made an appearance here. I really enjoyed Chris Evans' Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movies. He plays that character perfectly. And it was good to see him play the character once again. And then the character, in my opinion, that absolutely stole the show, I think no one can deny this, is Channing Tatum's Gambit. He was absolutely fantastic. We finally got to see Gambit's power in action in an R-rated movie, put to good use. His powers aren't just cards; it's energy blast, and he was blowing people up. It was awesome to watch. And then honestly, Blade could steal the title of stole the show, because you could make a case for him as well. Wesley Snipes' Blade was a very shocking cameo. He was like D in our tier list. We did not really expect him to be in this movie. At least, Wesley Snipes, but he was better than ever, quick-witted, and I absolutely loved his line of, there will never be another Blade. Like, what a diss to the Blade movie that is under production. It may never come out. There's no director. There's no writer. Maybe we find it out at Comic-Con, but as of right now, nada for that movie. So that was a huge diss to that movie. And I honestly don't want to see a Blade movie without Wesley Snipes, because obviously he's still got it. So great cameo there. Elektra, fine cameo. I wish she would have been replaced with, like a Cyclops or a more meaningful X-Men, but it was still good to see her. And then there was also Laura, who I don't think got enough dialogue in this movie.
I don't
but
think
she
she
did
got
have
enough screen time.
I agree, but she did have a cool moment where she put on the glasses from Logan in the gas station.
And we also got Henry Cavill as a variant of Wolverine. And first we see him, just over the shoulder, back of the head, back of the back shot, making it mysterious of who's going to be this Wolverine. Is it going to be Hugh Jackman? No. It was Henry Cavill. It was a surprise to us. We thought that it was going to be either Cowboy Deadpool or some other random member of the Deadpool Corp. We also got Lady Deadpool, which she never takes off her mask, but she is voiced by Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife. And then we got Peter
Nice
Pool.
Pool.
Oh.
Can't forget about Nice Pool. I really like that they use Nice Pool as kind of like the I hate the term NPC, but it's exactly what this was. He's the NPC Marvel fan because one of his lines. So the whole time they were talking about how like everything after Endgame, the multiverse stuff was just bad, and then Nice Pool goes, everything after Endgame was great, and I love that scene. Because it is what an NPC Instagram user, Marvel fan, would put on an Instagram post about people hating like the show Echo and all that,
And like throughout the whole entire like chaos of everything, he was perfectly fine. He was just positive as ever,
I'm gonna live.
Taking bullet after bullet, use actual Deadpool, prime Deadpool, using Nice Pool as a body shield, and him just staying positive the whole entire time, like NPC would. It was just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, Nice Pool's actually just Free Guy,
basically,
but without the powers.
And then we have to talk about this one character, Peter.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say short Wolverine. Or comic accurate Wolverine.
I forgot about
Dude, that was the funniest cameo. That was the first Wolverine we saw, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was really funny. Yeah, Peter Pool. Can I forget about Peter Pool?
Peter Pool. Oh my! I was not expecting Peter to be a Deadpool at all,
or get like his own moment in the movie. Like he actually had two moments where the entire Deadpool Corps gravitate towards him because like they love. Who doesn't love Peter? Every Deadpool has a Peter according to them. It's like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben. But he also got another moment where B-15 was simping over him.
She was fiending for.
She was down bad. But yeah, overall, the cameos in this movie were really good. Way better than Multiverse of Madness, which that bar is pretty low. But yeah, if the only cameos I wish we got to see was we saw Hulk, but I wish we got to see like an actual Wolverine versus Hulk scene in this movie. But he was still in there, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it's mainly just I wish there was more X-Men, and I also wish Cable was in this movie since Deadpool did steal his time travel device, but. Not a big deal there. And then we also decided to, just make a list of our likes and dislikes for this movie. For me, obviously Wolverine had an amazing dialogue in this movie, stole the show. And the action in this movie was insane. The early battle between all the battles between Deadpool and Wolverine were awesome. The car scene especially was great. When they first get to the Void was really good. So the action in this movie is one of the best in the MCU already. On the first watch, I can tell. Yeah, it's up there. Obviously, the intro credit scene was great. I really like some of the cameos, and I kind of like that Cassandra Nova was evil just to be evil. We didn't need this like complex villain in this movie that had, you know, all these motives. We have Deadpool Wolverine. Those are the main focus of the movie. Anything else we get is kind of, you know, great. So we didn't need like a big complex villain. Cassandra Nova is evil to be evil. She had some pretty funny lines. I liked her in this movie. And it kind of made sense why she wanted to be the typical I want to rule the entire universe, because she was actually starting to warm up. Like Wolverine talked her out of killing them, and then Pyro shoots her, and then Pyro reveals to her that the TVA were trying to take her out, but it was actually just Paradox. So obviously she's gonna go to an extreme and try to take over the entire universe and take over the TVA. Yeah, I liked her. Just, you know, evil to be evil. And then obviously, dude, the jokes at Disney were so good, so honest, and it's all what we've been thinking. And one of my favorite lines was whenever Wolverine was, I think this scene was whenever Wolverine was in the TVA for a second. Deadpool says, bad time to join the MCU for him. Brutally honest there.
Yeah.
And my last, like for this movie was that so at the end of the movie we see the final scene, which is all the characters together. Gambit, Elektra, Blade, Laura, Wolverine, Deadpool, Wolverine are all in his universe now. They're with Blind Owl. And I've realized I am way more invested in these characters and this Deadpool universe than I am about the MCU. I could care less what goes on in Captain America Brave New World. I want to know what's happening with this universe. I mean, the storytelling was great, and this is how you build characters that are meaningful and are just easy to like. It's so hard to like new characters these days. They're just not interesting like these characters. So, this movie made me not care about the MCU, which is ironic because this movie was supposed to save it. Right? At least that's what fans hoped. This movie was not meant to save it. It was meant to poke fun and show what the MCU should be.
Yeah, going off of that, it just the whole new character things and recent MCU projects of TV shows or movies or whatever. It's just they're just, you know, they're there and then they just don't show up, or they're not even like referenced at all. They're just very forgettable. Now this movie is setting a bar for the MCU now, just saying, you know, you either got to make something better than this, or you're just gonna not make anything at all. Because, not gonna lie, the next MCU project that's going to be releasing, it's gonna be hard to even top Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, Captain America Brave New World has a tough task ahead of itself. It has got to be good after this. It is the only way to build momentum again for Marvel. And all I gotta say, please have Red Hulk versus Hulk. That's the only way. And a good story. If you do that, if you do Red Hulk and versus Hulk and a good story, that's a great start. Obviously, there's dislikes with this movie. No movie is perfect out there, but this was a good movie still. But there's only a few dislikes. I was kind of surprised. I'm a big skepticist. If that's a word. Yeah. Of course, it is a word. But I really didn't have a lot of dislikes. But one that really bugged me in this movie was that Wade and Vanessa's breakup was very vague. There was just not a lot of details on why they decided to break up. We got somewhat of a glimpse only because Cassandra Nova went to the mind of Deadpool. I wish we could have seen that on an actual screen, what happened. But yeah, when you have such a good relationship built up in the first two movies, to kind of break it off out of nowhere, kind of odd. Then obviously Juggernaut had no dialogue. I hate that. He could have at least said like his signature line from The Last Stand. Post-credit scene. So the post-credit scene, if you walked out early, which I mean, you didn't miss much, which is a surprise. I mean, people are walking out of the movie. I'm like, what are y'all doing? But the post-credit scene of this movie was that early in the movie, we see Human Torch, Deadpool Wolverine all get captured by Cassandra Nova and her little group of mutants. And then they get brought to Cassandra Nova, and then Deadpool basically rats out on Human Torch about the awful things he said about her. Things that, Captain America would never say, but this is a different character. This is Johnny Storm, the foul mouth. But he keeps denying it, but he never said that. Then eventually Cassandra Nova just kills Johnny Storm. Brutal fashion. Great kill right there. But in the post-credit scene, we actually see that Johnny Storm did say all the things that he was denying. And that was it. So I wish the post-credit scene was better than that. I definitely think that should have been a post-credit scene for the movie. It was funny. But that being the only post-credit scene, besides like the really nice credit scene, the little farewell to the X-Men universe with good riddance in the background, beautiful stuff there. But I wanted another post-credit scene, and part of me is glad that this is its own universe, but I was really expecting this movie to set up Secret Wars. So in the trailer, in the first ever teaser trailer, we see Deadpool on the ground with the Secret Wars comic and the bottle from the Brazil company in the Incredible Hulk movie. None of those things get addressed. So I guess they were just Easter eggs to be there. But I was expecting this movie to set up Secret Wars, and it didn't. We could just see, post-credit scenes of the Fantastic Four, Deadpool Wolverine sucked into the portal, they're at Battleworld, Doctor Doom. We could see that, but we're still left in limbo land, and I guess it's okay that this is its own thing, because I care about this universe way more than the MCU. So yeah, post-credit scene I'm not a fan of, and the last dislike I have of this movie is I'm confused. Why did Paradox save Deadpool? If Paradox decided to just prune his timeline and never bring Deadpool into the TVA, this movie doesn't happen. Maybe he did the same with Blade and Elektra, and that's why they're all still alive. Like, those characters survived. It's like he says Deadpool is chose for a higher purpose, but why? Why keep the most dangerous man alive and bring him to the TVA? Seems like a terrible idea. Ended up being a terrible idea. So that part didn't really make sense. But those are my only dislikes in the movie. I had way more likes than dislikes. So yeah. Any comments, Cam?
No.
Okay.
You should keep that in. No.
Yeah, I'll keep that in, yeah.
Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button so my videos can be into your algorithm or other people's algorithm and make my channel more known. Also check out this kid's opinion, so make sure you also subscribe, please. I am begging you. I will give you a cookie.
Yay!
Bye bye.